This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie skies are wide and high. Deep in the heart of Texas, deep in the heart of Texas.
Hello, and
hello.
welcome to Bois, King of the Hill podcast. I am Mike.
And I am, what they could call me Researching Rusty today.
Researching Rusty.
Yeah, Researching
All right.
Rusty today. I went a little deep on the title of this episode.
Okay, so welcome. We were going to try to do this yesterday, and for some reason the cameras wouldn't coordinate.
Life
cooperate.
happens.
So we did it. Okay.
Alrighty.
I hope you're okay, Artie. I see you there.
Yeah, I hope you're good already.
All right, today, King of the Hill, Season 8, Episode 8, or in the year of our Lord, 7 ABE 21.
It would be Ceci Ni Passon, King of the Hill, is the name of this episode.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, which this actually also is okay. So we keep talking about the last one to use digital ink, or the last one to be cell animation or whatever. This is the last, or the from this episode on, there are no episodes whatsoever that have any cell animation. Yeah, because there was two I think there was two in this season, maybe, or one or two. I can't think of his because they're holdover episodes from season 7. You know how we talk about the ABE, season 7 ABE episode 20, whatever.
Like this is 7 ABE 21.
So some of these episodes were holdovers from season 7. So the last episode to have cell animation was actually Rich Hank, Poor Hank.
Oh, okay.
That was the final one, which was the last episode that we did, I believe, right? I think that was our last episode.
The last one we did was the last one we did. It was she goes to Monsignor, whatever his name is.
Yeah, this one was
this is Rich Hank, Poor Hank.
Yeah, this is Rich Hank, Poor Hank.
So
this is sorry, yeah.
This is the last one.
I actually wrote all my notes about the wrong episode.
That's okay.
I thought we were episode. I was one further. I guess it's because we didn't record yesterday. So
that's probably what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, never mind then. So my notes are null and void.
This one is Rich Hank, Poor Hank.
Rich Hank, Poor Hank.
Originally aired Sunday, June 4th, 2004. When Bobby mistakenly believes that his parents are rich, he steals Hank's credit card, which is wild, and goes on a shopping spree. Okay, so I know that you had been mentioning something about Legos and building a set on camera. I came home yesterday, and my wife's like, "Oh, you're home too early."
I
was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do I need to leave for a little while?" And she goes, "No, I just haven't finished this." So she was in our living room building this for me.
Built by Brickcraft. It is an actually officially licensed Lego figure, Brickcraft figure. Which we're gonna do an episode. So Mike was gifted that. I actually gifted myself. I gifted myself that, and I'm gonna build it on episode one Friday episode. So I actually do have some facts about this one. So this is actually based on a 1997 self-help book. The title of it is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which was a book by Robert Kiyosaki and Sharon Lecter.
I remember when that came out.
It was like a personal finance book. So it was just like a compare and contrast of two different financial philosophies from two of the people in this book. So Kiyosaki's father was a poor dad, a struggling dad, and then his best friend's dad was a successful entrepreneur, rich dad. So it was just like a contrast of his dad, and then it like argues for financial literacy, financial independence, all that stuff. So that's that's what that book was about. But in this book, or not this book, sorry,
that guy did like a TED talk first or something like that then launched that book, or maybe it was after.
Yeah, something like that. We actually see a business called Shellwins, which is a high-end department store in here. And then there's some voices in here too. We got the mustachioed taxi driver, which is that's just Toby Huss. Okay. Then we have Amigilio, I don't know how to say his name. That would be David Herman's voice. So that's somebody we've seen before. Mm-hmm. Then you have Eric, which is done by Tara Strong, which is Bobby. Not Bobby. Tara Strong is Bubbles. Sorry, she does Bubbles. She's a famous voice actress. She does a lot of.
What was her name again? Sorry.
Tara Strong.
Tara Strong. Okay.
Yeah, she does a lot of stuff. She's like a very, very busy voice actor. She was on the Fairly Odd Parents, Rugrats, Beetlejuice the animated series. She was on All Grown Up, Ben 10, Teen Titans, Powerpuff Girls, obviously, Babar, Drawn Together, 101 Dalmatians, the series, Lilo and Stitch, the series. So, and she's been in a few other episodes that we've already went over in season 2, 3, and 6. This is actually her last episode that she does on King of the Hill. And then the other voice is Eric's father, which is voiced by none other than Stephen Root. And then we get
Artie's got a couple of things in here. Rich Man, Poor Man was also a TV miniseries in the 70s. I think it was a PBS thing.
Why was it? Yeah.
Yeah, Rich Man, Poor Man. I think it was about the same time as Upstairs, Downstairs. And then Shellwins was where Bobby found out he was fat.
Yeah, it was an ABC miniseries based on
ABC.
Irwin Shaw's novel. It became a cultural phenomenon, paving the way for future literary adaptations like Roots.
Yep.
It had a young Nick Nolte, and it had Peter Strauss in it too.
Peter Strauss. Wow. Boy, that takes me back. Peter Strauss, I think he was in Ghost Story also. It's the one where like Fred Astaire and all those people were in.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so Bobby is going to steal a credit card. Here we go. We start off at Shellwins at the mall, the very aforementioned shopping center that we were talking about. Bobby and Hank are there, and they're at the counter, and they're looking at wallets. So Bobby is going to get his first wallet. Hank says, "Take your time, Bobby. You're not just wallet shopping. You're learning a valuable lesson in money management. Savor it." And then he wants him to savor it. Bobby looks and looks and looks, and he finds a fancy one, and he goes, "This one." The guy at the counter says, "That'll be $135. $135 for
a wallet is crazy."
Yeah. He goes, "Dad, pay the man." He goes,
"I don't pay for wallets. I think every wallet I've ever had has been like a gift for like Christmas or something like that."
I think whenever I buy a wallet, if it's not under $20, I don't want it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if it costs more than the money that you have to put into it,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's
if
right.
It costs $20 and I only have $35. And I spend $20 on it, I only have $15 to put in it, and I spent more on the wallet than I had to put in it. That'd be kind of
Hank says,
funny.
"Now, why would you pick that overpriced thing when there's a sturdy, reasonable price $15 one right in front of you?" Bobby says, "Well, that one's pretty snazzy, and it looks like it can hold a ton of money." He goes, "Bobby, it goes that way. If I wanted to impress someone, I could pull out a really big wad of cash. Bam! Dad, give me a big wad of cash." Give me a big wad of cash. He goes, "What are you trying to do, Bobby? Get us mugged?" So they leave the store. They're walking in the mall, and Hank's still on this waving your money around thing. And he says, "Why would you go waving your money around in public?" "Because it's cool, and I think it makes people like you." "How much money do you make a year anyway?"
Yeah, he's making Hank uncomfortable.
Hank's like, "Bobby, where'd you pick up that kind of talk?" He said, "I thought you wanted to talk about money." He said, "I did, quietly and without mentioning any dollar figures. Bobby, only jackasses go around saying how much money they make." And that's pretty true, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
But they stop in front of a DVD store. If you want to place this in a time and like era, this is in front of a DVD store. So
so DVD store about 2000s. This will
Mm-hmm.
be this show aired in 04.
2004. So even DVD stores were kind of starting to wane at this point, you know. But what I figured it was like a Babbage's or something like that, you know, because it looked like they had a bunch of sale signs on the
or
front.
Sam Goodies or something.
He goes, what are you talking about? Julia Roberts makes $1 million a year. And he goes, are you calling America sweetheart a jackass? Because there was a poster in the window of Where Apes Fear to Tread, starring Julia Roberts.
Where Apes Fear to Tread, which could be a play on. There's a movie called 12 O'Clock High, which is a Gregory Peck movie. And as they're getting into the plane, above the door of the plane, it says where angels and generals fear to tread.
Yeah, it says and generals.
Angels and generals. Yeah.
So he says, you calling America's sweetheart a jackass? He goes, it's just vulgar, Bobby. The amount of money a man makes is between him and the professionals down at the H&R Block. The H&R Block, not just H&R Block. That is a very Texas thing. Down at the H&R Block. All right, now we're in the Hill Kitchen. Hank and Peggy are paying bills, and Peggy says, who are we talking to in Dallas for 37 minutes? She looks all disgusted, and she goes, oh, I remember. And Hank says, where did I go wrong, Peggy? How did I raise a son who goes around with that filthy money mouth of his? He actually had the audacity to ask me how much money I make a year. She goes, I do not know where he'd get an attitude like that. It certainly was not from us. We raised him to be uncomfortable about anything that personal, which is spot on.
Spot on for Hank. Yeah.
On. In comes Bobby from the other room. He goes, Dad, Ladybird's scooting again. He walks in and Hank's like, oh, hey, son. You guys were talking about money, weren't you? No. He hides the checkbook. He goes, yes, you were. You were paying bills. Peggy's like, no, we weren't. We were making out. And then she starts. She grabs him and starts kissing him real hard. And he goes, Peggy, then what is this? And he grabs a calculator and he says, Bobby. She goes, let me help. And she goes, why? He says, why? So you can blab to the whole neighborhood how much your mother's haircuts cost? And they're fighting over the calculator. He goes, I'm not a little kid. And then Peggy says, no.
You were, in fact, a little kid.
He says, I'm not a little kid. And he leaves. And then Peggy looks at Hank and goes, now, where were we? And then he goes, oh, no, it was on the phone bill. So she was getting all horny.
She was, yeah. She was
the horn dog.
She was getting horned up.
All right, we're in the alley with all four guys. So that's Bill and Dale and Hank and Boomhauer. And we hear, yep, uh-huh. My boy asked me how much money I make. Bill's like, the nerve. Bill is the guy keeping the peace here. He goes, and then Jill says, the less kids know about money, the less likely they are to rat you out under the pressure of a federal investigation. Something he's thought about a lot. Hank says, I tell you what, it's tough enough to teach a kid to judge people on the character without TV and the MTV.
The MTV.
Filling their heads.
The MTV is dead. Rest in peace to the MTV.
Yeah.
Buried by Rob Dyrdek.
We were watching.
He carried it out on his shoulders.
Oh, we were watching that Diddy documentary on Netflix. And
you know what? Everybody needs to pause what they're doing right now and just apologize to 50 Cent. Even if you did something wrong or not, because that's not a guy that you would want digging up anything on you.
No, that's not a guy. I heard that he's going after Jay-Z next.
Oh, he has more to do for Diddy.
Yeah.
He only gave it according to everything that's out there, he only gave like a portion of what he has. He has countless hours of recordings of voices, and there's a lot of people, I guess, that P. Diddy's pissed off that 50 Cent was able to pay for all of the all the sound bites and all the video.
Well, honestly,
crazy.
Had Diddy not had a camera crew follow him around the whole time,
yeah,
he would have gotten way less trouble.
Well, not only that, it shows you that one of the biggest things for investigative journalism is cash. If you have a lot of money to push the issues and get the information you got to have irrefutable sources and evidence. So the things that he has are like firsthand documentation, firsthand source stuff. Sure. So the fact that he can get all that and have all this and come out with all these documentaries about all these people and stuff, because he's not done. Apparently he's got more than just Jay-Z, so I think it's great.
Artie says he likes it when Peggy gets caught up in making
Peggy a little naughty gal.
So Bill's like and Dale says under investigation, and Hank's like, the MTV filling their heads with nonsense. Bill's TV's an open sewer. He just like blurts things out now.
Yeah, apparently. He does.
Boomhauer, yeah, man, I'll tell you what, man, dang old MTV Cribs, man, talking about a Ja Rule on there. He got a dang old refrigerator full of Cristal champagne, man. He says crystal, but it's Cristal.
It's Cristal, and actually, I looked up some stuff about Cristal to give some cool little history about it. So Cristal had been around for since 1876, but it didn't become commercially available till the 40s.
Oh,
so what it was created by a champagne producer called Louis Roder, and they're like this big French producer, and they were founded in 1776, just like our country was. But they created for Alexander II, who was the Tsar of Russia at the time. So this was his wine. This was a champagne created for him, and it became really popular in the Russian nobility at the time. So it didn't even really become commercially available. They made lots of it for the Tsar, so it got around into private collections and stuff like that of the day, of the 1800s, early 1900s and stuff like that. But it was what they called the first prestige cuvee, which cuvee means like tank. It's like how the wine is stored or whatever.
Yeah.
But so the champagne bottle as it looks and the style of it, it was the Tsar feared assassination, so he wanted to have the bottles made so that he could see the bubbles in the bottle. So he wanted to see the bubbles exploding. So he knew that if it was flat, there would be no bubbles.
Yep.
So he knew that because as long as there's a seal on it, there's bubbles floating in it. So that was his theory behind it. So he hosted this lavish dinner for a Prussian king and the Chancellor of Germany at the time, Otto von Bismarck. And he had them so you could see the bubbles or whatever, and then that was where the style of it came. But it didn't become popularly or commercially available, until 1945 after the end of World War II. But it's funny because the only reason why Cristal gets a reference in most pop culture things is because through hip hop culture, decadent things and luxury and all that they like luxury. It comes on luxury brands, and it became like a part of the public image of the 90s and the 2000s. The Notorious B.I.G. has Cristal lyrics, R. Kelly and Diddy, to name two. But Jay-Z and Tupac and everybody in that era had their own thing. And Tupac actually had a cocktail called Thug Passion, which was Alizé Gold Passion, which Alizé is another. It's like a vodka-based liqueur, and he would mix the vodka-based liqueur with Cristal, and that was Thug Passion.
That sounds
so
gross.
there you go. Yeah, there you go. That's a little Cristal history for those that care.
Hank says he's listened to much of this. He's going to, well, I better head in for dinner. Bobby's probably badgering Peggy about how much her wedding ring costs. He goes inside, and Dale and the guys are still left out there, and Dale says, so how much do you think old Hank is pulling down? Boomhauer says, I'll tell you what, man, that blue truck out here don't come cheap. Now we're inside. Bobby is playing his Game Boy in the living room, and he's like, gotcha. And in comes Hank. Yep, got my check today. And Peggy says, so how much was it for? Not to be a Bobby about it. I mean, Jesus, Peggy. Okay. So they're in the kitchen. He's in the living room, and he overhears all this. And Hank says, $1,000. He goes, that's right. You're going to have dinner with a man who made $1,000 today. Peggy says, well, that's a pretty generous bonus. He goes, yep. Not quite as good as last year, but people just aren't selling grills like they did last year. Boy, last year was something else. So Bobby has overheard this, and this is starts our Three's Company style misunderstanding.
Yeah, it starts an exaggeration because when you're a kid, like you don't really have an like most kids don't have like a concept of money in that sense.
Yeah.
So when they start thinking about money, they start saying, oh, a million, a million this, 1,000 that, 100,000 of this. And it's really not
says
that much.
about the house here in just a second. So Bobby and Joseph are in his room. They have a calculator. They're trying to figure out exactly how much he makes. Bobby says, so the way I figure it, my dad makes $1,000 a day. That's $365,000 a year. That would be if he worked 7 days a week, Bobby.
That would be if he works 7 days a week. Which he doesn't work 7 days a week.
Joseph's like, whoa.
Which I'm sorry for anybody that does. I only work 14 days a month.
Wow. But you work, what, 12, 15-hour shifts?
Yeah. Well, just, 12 hours on the books is what we're scheduled to work. Sometimes it's like an hour more, hour less, somewhere around there.
So he goes, so the way I figure it, my dad makes $1,000 a day. That's $365,000 a year. Joseph's like, whoa. He says, yeah, whoa, but check it out. He's been doing it for 20 years. That's $7,300,000. No way. Yeah. And he barely spends a dime. So he's got all that money just sitting around. What's he spending it on? Our house? That thing costs $1 million, maybe $2 million tops. He goes, Joseph says, oh no. Are you sure about this? Bobby and Joseph start going through the Hill house. And they're looking for something that will prove that his dad has made $7,300,000 in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I don't understand why people go digging through the house either.
Bobby says,
"Did you ever do that as a kid? Go like digging through your
not
parents?
really. I
reading
mean,
their
to a
things?
certain extent, I guess, but not really.
Not really.
I didn't really care.
Yeah, you go digging, you find things like
I
that.
don't
I
want to find.
I got two brothers in Alaska that they adopted
Yeah,
out.
I
You
don't-
know, just
I
something
don't-
like that. You
I
know
don't
what I'm
need to find
saying?
that
You
out.
walk in there and you end up digging up some like dark family secrets. Yeah, no, I learned the hard way. You don't go digging around reading news.
Bobby says there's got to be something somewhere that proves we're rich. And they're in the garage now, and he sees a box and it says oil records. So he pulls those down, and Joseph's like, "Why is it locked?" He's trying to pry it up with a.
He's the oil record for his truck.
Yeah.
That's what's funny.
He tries to pry it
They
up
think
with a
it's like-
screwdriver.
They think it's like money,
He goes,
like some oil money. but
Bobby
it's
says,
just
because it's
literally-
about my dad's secret oil wells. My dad's
Yeah.
got oil. Joseph's like, dude, you're rich. You're
That's funny.
really rich. He goes, I am. This is so cool. You are not, you idiot. But okay. Now he has a dream that pops up, and this is possibly my favorite part. A big tower with helicopters around it, and we see, and Hank. So we have a helicopter with Bobby and Hank. They are both dressed like pimps.
Yeah.
And this helicopter comes through and he goes, I'll tell you what, Bobby, let's say we tally-ho it over to the money room. Bobby's like, capital idea, Dad, capital. He goes, well done, son. He says, thank you, Father. But we see
Capital
them in top
idea.
hats, these weird big ass sunglasses,
Yeah.
and their swim trunks. They have a bunch of chains and jewelry on. They have fur coats over it. When they take their fur coats off, we see the swimsuits. We glance at the other end of the pool. Peggy is there in her bathing suit with some white tigers and a ball gown with a crown on for some reason. And then he kind of shakes it off. He comes back in. By the way, the music in that flashback dream sequence, it sounds a lot like the Silicon Valley intro music to the show.
Oh yeah,
And
I
Mike
think it
Judge-
was that guy just doing the riff tracks. What do you
Mike-
call them? Interstitials.
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 But yeah, it sounds a lot like it. And then of course Mike Judge did Silicon Valley also. So I got to wonder if it's kind of that. It's that that. Kind
yeah, yeah.
All right. So he wakes up to Joseph saying, I don't know, Bobby. We lived next door to you guys for a long time. You don't seem rich. And he does not seem rich. But this is at Connie's house now, by the way. Bobby, Connie, and Joseph are sitting around. He says, Connie says, I mean, you guys don't have half the stuff we do. And everything you do have, we have a better version of. Which is a rough thing to say, honestly.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's tough.
Bobby says, well, my dad's always going off about how cheap stuff is just as good as expensive stuff. He spent half a dinner last night saying, anyone who says they can tell the difference between this and real Coca-Cola is lying. I tell you what.
You know what? And that's the thing is people are like, oh, cheaper is better. You know what? Bought a Bose Bluetooth speaker like almost 20 years ago, and it still functions the day that it did.
Sure.
I've had smaller, similar size Bluetooth speakers that are $10, $15 here, there kind of thing, and they break in a month. They break in a week. They break in a year. None of them.
What it is.
And the sound output and stuff. I always find it better if you spend the money just a little bit extra, you don't even have to buy the high end stuff. Generally, the mid range stuff is generally good enough to last for
it's
a
according to
long
what
time.
it is. Like if we're talking about Coke, I'll take the H-E-B Cokes anytime.
I'll drink any of that stuff. I don't care what
way
it is.
cheaper.
Mountain Lightning is better than Mountain Dew almost.
So he says, my dad's always talking about how things are cheaper. Connie says, well, I guess it's possible. Maybe your dad is one of those rich misers. He goes, what? A lot of rich people are just crazy. They hang on to every penny. Howard Hughes would wear Kleenex boxes on his feet, which is a real thing. And he wrote a whole instruction manual on the exact way his staff should serve him a peach. He goes, oh, my dad wrote a 13-step system for putting away groceries. She goes, oh, and there was this woman. They called her the Witch of Wall Street. She was so cheap that when her son got sick, she wouldn't even pay for a doctor, and they had to cut the kid's leg off. He goes, whoa. Joseph's like, gross. She says, boy, It seems like the richer people get, the cheaper they are, and the cheaper they get, the crazier they get. Bobby's kind of at the window. He's kind of worried about this, and he sees his dad through the window there go up to the trash can and open it up, and he goes, as he's coming out, he's like, Bobby, time to wrap pennies. Time to wrap pennies.
Time to wrap pennies. It's funny.
Then he looks in the trash can and he goes, dang it, Peggy, who threw out this mayonnaise jar? I use these to store extra screws. And we kind of see Bobby's face like, oh my God, is he really a miser? Is he going to cut my leg off? Whatever.
He's really a miser.
And that is our first commercial break. We will take that and we will be
right back.
Did it.
Join the Daily High Club, the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and accessories. Since 2015, we've sold over 1 million quality products and teamed up with legends like Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong. Ready to elevate your smoking game? Visit dailyhighclub.com for our El Primo subscription box or shop unique pieces today.
Discover the world of luxury sex toys at Luxury Toy X and indulge in the ultimate pleasure experience. For years, we have been dedicated to the belief that sexuality and wellness are essential components of a happy and healthy life. With over 70,000 satisfied customers, we take pride in our ability to provide products that enhance your sexual well-being. Join our community of satisfied customers and unlock a world of pleasure and self-discovery. Visit luxurytoyx.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Baby girl, were you staring at me? You know that's not convincing, right? Try again. Well, you shouldn't just be staring then. You should taste.
I miss your presence, your laughter.
You know, during that commercial break, we were just talking about movies, like Christmas movies.
Yeah,
and
Christmas
in the
movies.
air and things like that.
Buffalo Gal, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight.
We were talking about how there's only like 3 Christmas movies. You know, there's It's a Wonderful Life, which is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And how it's never really been remade. They've tried a couple of different ways or whatever, but it's kind of untouchable, kind of like Gone with the Wind, you know, in my estimation.
Yeah.
And then, so there's that story. There's the Scrooge story, which, good God, have they done that to death? And then there's the third kind. This is what I'm going to call the Hallmark kind, where it's a lady in the city and she's a big deal and something happens because she's got to go back to her hometown that she said she'd never go back to. Then she meets a guy who's either a woodworker or maybe he plays Santa or maybe he's a recluse or something. She meets him, they fall in love, they break up, then they fall back in love and they learn the true meaning of Christmas. That would be the third one.
I kind of want to go back to that. We said it never been this, never been that.
Yeah.
They actually did a radio stage play based on the classic movie, and Bill Pullman was actually played.
Now that would be cool.
It was done on PBS in the 90s, and it was Martin Landau as Mr. Potter, Penelope Miller as Mary Hatch Bailey, Nathan Lane as Clarence, Sally Field as George's mother.
Wow.
It had Christian Slater in it, Minnie Driver, Jerry Van Dyke, Carol Kane. Oh my gosh, had everybody in it. Had a good cast. I got to see if I could find that period to like watch. I wonder if that's like even available.
I wonder if he did
on the internet
Jimmy Stewart
anywhere.
voice when he was doing it. You know, since it's so
hot dog.
iconic.
Yeah. And so they did do another one too in the 70s. It was called It Happened One Christmas, which
that was the
I kind of didn't do it.
about?
Yeah, the one where they gender reversed the roles, so it's centered around Mary Bailey Hatch instead of focusing on him. So it's about Mary and instead of
what's his name?
George
Bailey. Hey,
but in this he's called George Hatch because she's Mary Bailey.
Gotcha.
And he's George Hatch.
Artie said something before we went to commercial. He said that the kids don't have a concept of taxes either, and he's absolutely right.
No, they do
about
not. Happy podcast streaming day.
Welcome, Michael.
Welcome. Connie was describing was Hetty Green.
Right.
All right. Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, Miracle on 34th Street. That's another one. That's a different one, but it does have the love interest thing in it. And then Michael also added the Christmas Story kind.
Child wants a toy or dreams about it and gets the toy.
He's absolutely right. So there are 4 so far.
My favorite trope of that one, or my favorite movie with that trope, is Jingle All the Way. Where Arnold Schwarzenegger is spending the whole movie trying to get that damn toy, and he fights Sinbad.
Yeah. Speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, we watched The Running Man last night. The new one.
Oh, good.
The new one
was good.
It was very good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, the money that they offer people, are called new dollars, and they have Arnold Schwarzenegger's face on it, which I thought was a pretty cool nod to the original one. You know.
Yeah. So that just to wrap up about that, It Happened One Christmas thing. It's actually got a really good cast. It's got Marlo Thomas from That Girl, Wayne Rogers, who was in MASH.
Yeah.
He was Captain Trapper. It had Orson Welles, which Orson Welles is the famous radio guy who did War of the Worlds. Yeah. It had Cloris Leachman.
Who was one of my all-time favorite comedians.
But it also had Dick O'Neill, Barney Martin.
Dick O'Neill, I had one time. I had to get a shot.
Barney Martin was Jerry Seinfeld's dad.
Oh, okay.
Morty. In
Seinfeld,
Seinfeld,
the guy who played Morty. Yeah, okay.
And Doris Roberts, and then some other old fogies. But yeah, so Christopher Guest, he was in there too.
Oh, Christopher.
But yeah, so that was they did do other stuff.
I did not realize Christopher Guest was married to what's her face from Aliens, Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
It's a crazy pairing.
Yeah.
All right. So the kids are still kind of trying to suss out whether Hank is a millionaire or not. So they're kind of hiding from behind a fence and watching Hank. And Bobby says, "Look at him breaking his back to wash his truck. Oh, God, I don't want to lose my leg. Can you imagine the cheap fake leg he's going to buy me? He'll probably just make it himself out of a broom handle and a shoehorn." Well, that's probably true if he had to make you a fake leg. Connie says, "I don't think he's that crazy." He goes, "Yet. But I can't take any chances. He just needs to loosen up. Maybe if I can get him to spend a little money and see it's not the end of the world, he won't go crazy." Joseph says, "Hey, go ask him to buy some horses. We'll ride them to school. We'll be legends." But if you think about it, it comes full circle when Bobby has to get a horse in the new season.
Yeah.
He goes, no. I got to find something he likes. Ease him into prying open that wallet of his. When he sees how much fun it is, there won't be anything standing between me and that sweet ching-a-ching-ching. Ching-a-ching-ching.
Ching-a-ching-ching.
Now we're at Dale's. It's nighttime. We're at the dinner table. So we got Joe, Dale, Joseph, Dale, and Nancy. And Joseph's like, hey, did you guys hear? Bobby's rich. Turns out Mr. Hill is some kind of crazy millionaire oil something.
I think it's funny that all it was just the oil records of his dad's pickup truck. It's so funny. Yeah.
Nancy says, Shug, you know better than to spread silly gossip like that. What did Reverend Stroop say? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. What did Reverend Stroop say? It was something about Jesus and gossip, and it rhymed. And Dale's just sitting there going, mm-hmm, yep. She picks up the dishes and goes into the kitchen, and he goes, tell me more of Hank's fortune, Joseph. Joseph says, Connie says he's some kind of like rich miser or something. The Millionaire Next Door. I read that book, but I had no idea it was about Hank. It was not, but okay.
Yeah.
So we are now at Emerson Hardware, which I believe we've been before. And Dale is following Hank around inside, and he goes, Hank, will you buy me a ratchet set? No, Dale. How about a nightclub? I'll call it Hank's. I mean, he's just already, boy, they just so fast to think something's true.
Yeah.
All right, we're now at Arlen Pet Depot. We got Bobby, we got Hank, and we got Ladybird. And Hank is talking to the person at the counter. Just how soft are these soft begging strips? Because Ladybird's gums are very sensitive. Bobby says, hey, Dad, look at this. Now you and your dog can ride a burro into the Grand Canyon. He's got like a little pamphlet he's reading. And they're looking at the pamphlet. He goes, so they put up the reins right in her teeth. And they show the little picture, and it's got a dog on the back of a donkey, and the dog's wearing a sombrero, and he's got the bit right between his mouth. You know, he's moving the burro around or whatever. Hardy says, did you hear Bobby's rich because Hank has money? Two different things. He goes, I know. Can you believe it? He goes, oh, Ladybird gets to keep the sombrero. Oh, Ladybird looks great in hats. Well, she sure does, but I don't know. Bobby says, don't think about it. Just do it. You deserve it. God knows Ladybird deserves it. What did she do? He goes, well, there's a sing-along at the bottom. It does sound pretty good. He goes, oh, it is great. You'll have the time of your life, and I'll get a pinball machine, and we'll all have the time of my life. He goes, what? He goes, and then I'll get a Slurpee machine and a white tiger. Oh, thank you, Dad. This is going to be so great. It just ballooned so quickly. He goes, dang it, Bobby. I'm not going to start tossing money around like a drunken roughneck on payday just because you don't have any money sense. Look at her. She's crushed. He's pointing to Ladybird. He goes, you happy now? And then
dang it, poor girl.
Now we're back at the Hill House. We're in the kitchen. Hank says, Bobby, sit down. We need to talk. And Bobby says, have you reconsidered the pinball machine? No, idiot. And Hank says, son, everything you buy costs money, which somebody has to earn. Now, one way or another, I'm going to get you thinking right. Bobby says, but I'm not the one thinking crazy. He goes, now, see, that's exactly why your mother and I have decided to make some changes. He sets a bunch of $1 bills out in front of Bobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like the tip thing that jackasses do at a restaurant.
Yeah.
He puts a bunch of $1 bills out. He goes, now, you rented that video game last Friday, and he starts taking bills away as he's talking about each one of these things.
Yeah, he does.
So he goes, you returned it late. Hey, quit it. You bought that Teen People at the Get In and Get Out. I've itemized it all here on your your invoice. And he hands him an invoice for this thing. He's got $2 left on the table by the time Hank finishes. He goes, $2, but I want to go to the movies with Joseph today. He goes, oh, that sounds like fun, and I'd be happy to drive you. If you can earn the rest of the money you need, hey, you could collect cans, 5 cents each, just like the streets are littered with nickels. Said, you got to be kidding. Nope. Oh, and you're going to need a couple of heavy-duty garbage bags. This ought to cover them. And he takes his last $2.
Yeah.
The
only thing I know that's redeemable like that anymore is there's a milk brand. I drank their milk one time. I drank that whole quart of vanilla
Farms.
milk.
I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember. I wish I could remember so I could shout them out. But if you take the bottles back cleaned to the business area of HEB, they will give you a few dollars back towards the bottle.
Well, it's expensive milk too.
That's the thing is the milk is priced at $4, but when you ring it up, it's at $7, and it'll say on there bottle deposit, whatever, and then you take it and you get your money back. So it's really $4 milk, which is still kind of pricey, but it is specialty milk. But
you still got to lay out the $3 each time. So it's not like you truly get if you're just going to do it once, yes, it's $4 milk. If you're gonna do it more than once, it's $7 milk.
They're always holding on to your $3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. All right, so now we're in the alley. It's all four guys. Hank says, "Don't be surprised if Bobby comes around here asking for those cans because they're all drinking beer. I taught him an important lesson today." Guys all seem kind of mad at Hank. They're not really saying anything to him, right? He goes, "Go." He gets another beer out of the cooler, and Bill goes, "Go ahead there, Hank. Take all the beer you want. I'm so thrilled. My hard-earned money can make you happy." I mean, these
They're
guys
messing with him now.
hook,
Yeah.
line and sinker, you know?
Yeah.
Hank says, "It was your turn to buy the beer, Bill. That's how it works." He goes, "Yeah, I guess that's exactly how it works. I'm not getting rich cutting people's hair, Hank." "Well, things are tough all over." "Oh, I bet they are." And he just storms off like
That's
a
funny.
scorned lover or something, you know?
Things are getting tough all over. I'm
and
sure they are,
they're
Hank.
just standing there, and he goes, "Yep." And then you hear, "Yep." And then, mm-hmm. And then he runs, Bill runs back in like his ass is on fire. And he goes, "Please, just give me a few $1,000s, Hank, please." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Oh, just give him the money, Hank." Boomhauer. "Yeah, man, you know, dang old money's like a wind, man. Only feel it when it's moving, man." He goes, "My God, am I the only
Money's like the wind. You only feel it when it's moving. I like that. That's a good one. That's a shirt. There you go.
That is. My God, am I the only sane person around
And you know
here?
what should be on the shirt? It should be Boomhauer standing in one of them money tunnels with money
that's
flying all
good. Yeah,
around.
I like that.
Very good.
And so Hank kind of storms off, and Dale says, "Way to go, Bill. You single-handedly derailed the gravy train." "Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted some of his money. That was all." All right, now we're back at the Hill House in the kitchen.
That's crazy.
Bobby and Joseph, they get down the first aid kit because they're still looking for this proof, right?
There is none.
Bobby says, "Collect cans. My dad had his chance at life. I'm not going to let him take mine away. If this is an emergency, I don't know what it is because it says emergency on the
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
first aid kit." Pulls out an envelope that says for emergencies only, opens it up, and there is a credit card in there. And Joseph, when Joseph is the voice of reason, you've gone too far.
You need to leave.
Joseph says, "Oh, no way, Bobby. You're not going to take your dad's credit card, are you?" Relax. Whatever we spend is just a drop in the bucket to him. Besides, he won't even notice it's gone.
Ooh.
You've known your dad for 12 years now. You think that man, that solid black and white thinking man, is not going to notice when that credit card is missing?
Nah.
I bet he checks it once a week.
Well, nowadays you get notifications. So somebody used your credit card, your phone would buzz, and you'd be like, "Well,
That's
I'm
true.
sitting at home and my card is at 7-Eleven and just bought $500 worth of gas." You know.
So we see Bobby, Joseph, and Connie. They run out and they take an Arlen cab to the shops at the Arboretum. Just go. And then they get there and the cabbie says 4320. He goes, "No problem. Here you go," and hands him the credit card. He kind of looks him up and down and he goes, "Thank you, Mr. Hill." And then everybody kind of looks up at the big shops at Arboretum sign and goes, wow. Now they are inside and they are just spending money like it's water, right? They're just going through it.
They are.
They're climbing a rock wall. Connie kind of falls. He says, "Don't give up, Connie. Try it again. I'm rich." Then they're playing a golf game. Then they're throwing balls. They're doing all kinds of stuff, right? So they're in the arcade. They're climbing rock walls. They're doing all the things kids would do. Now they come in. Or Connie is in the. I put here that Connie's in the sub. I don't know what that means. Bobby's got a VR headset on, and
which is now an actual thing.
Across the hallway, the mallway, whatever you want to call it, you see John Redcorn and some lady, right? And she goes, "Oh, Johnny, I'm having a wonderful time today." "Me too." And then he looks over and he sees them just spending money like crazy, and he sees Bobby paying with a credit card at the movies, and he goes, "So the rumors are true." He goes, "Hey, I just remembered I should get back to the healing center." "Oh, but we were going to buy you a bathing suit." He goes, "The next time, okay, that's my girl." And he takes off. Now, we're at Strickland Propane, and Redcorn comes dressed, when he puts on that suit with the bolo tie. And
he's ready.
He twists up his plans, and he's psyching himself up to go in there because this is going to be his investor. He comes in, he goes, hey there, John Redcorn." He goes, "Hank." Hank, America is aging. The baby boomers will soon become the senior boomers. Yeah, I guess so. Good. As an established leader in the healing community, I am in a unique position to capture this emerging market. I think you know where I'm going with this. For your investment of only $1 million, Hank's like, what?
What? Yeah.
I'm not asking you for a handout. This is an investment opportunity in the New Age Golden Years Assisted Living Facility. Sure. I'll give you $1 million. Would you like it in rubies or fairy dust? He said, someone's going to make a lot of money off this idea. It could have been us. And he rolls up those plans and just kind of storms out. Yeah, Red Corn is looking a little scummy there, Artie. You got that right. We're at the Hill House. Peggy and Hank in green chairs in the living room. You know how they're always like, I don't understand how they can see the TV.
I don't either. Yeah.
Those two chairs.
It's one of them old TVs. And they're like 45 miles away from it. Yeah.
Straight back chairs. TV's all the way across the room, but they're watching TV. And the TV says, coming up next, find out what this man wants to show your children. And then the phone rings and he goes, whoa. All right, Peggy, tell me what happens. And then from the other room, you just hear Peggy go, oh my God, that is shocking. So you don't never know what it is.
Yeah, you never know.
Oh, dang it. He answers the phone. He goes, hello. Yes, Mr. Hill, this is a courtesy call from Southwest Mutual about your credit card. I've already got a credit card. No, Mr. Hill. We were calling about some unusual charges. We've got a spike of several $1,000s over the last 2 days. What? No. That card's never been used. Thief. She goes, sir, if you'd like to dispute the charges. Oh, wait, here's something. An attempted charge coming through right now. Would you like me to have them hold the card? Hank is pissed.
So he should be pissed. I'd be pissed too if I was him.
We go over to where the card is being used, and that is at the mall.
Yep.
Bobby is in there, and he is trying on clothes. You can see on the register that says unauthorized use, hold card. So this guy behind the car, behind the cash wrap, his name is Emiglio. And he goes,
yeah, that's the one I couldn't pronounce. Yeah,
right.
Miglio.
Goes, I'm sorry, Mr. Hill. The machine is so damn slow. He goes, oh, take your time. You know, Miglio, on second thought, I think I will try that vest on. Hank runs in with 2 security guards, and he goes, where is that bastard? Bobby pops out and goes, ta-da, because he was going to show Emilio his
and that bastard ends up being
he goes,
Bobby.
Dad. And then there's just swinging doors, just clack, 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 clack. So Hank has found out that it is Bobby. Ghetto Cowboy says 45 miles away from the TV. That is pretty far. And that is our second commercial break. We're going to take that, and
we'll be right back.
There it is. Here is the second one. Bye.
Farmhouse offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
And we are back.
And we're back.
All right, so we are at the point where Hank knows it's Bobby. Bobby knows he's in trouble.
Bobby's cooked.
They're coming out of the mall together, and he goes, "You stole my credit card. My boy stole my credit card." He goes, "Why are you so mad? Can't you just pump a little extra propane?" Wow, what a shitty thing to say.
That is shitty.
He goes, "How'd you get to be a spoiled rich kid when we're not even rich?" They get in the truck, and Bobby looks back, and he has to wave away the limo he's hired because the guy's just waiting on him. They're driving home. He goes, "Okay, I'm sorry. I stole the credit card, but you just would have said no, and we both know you're loaded, so let's just say we're both wrong." He goes, "I'm loaded? Has everyone in the neighborhood lost their minds?" He goes, "Okay, Dad, I'll come clean. I know everything. I heard you talking about how you make $1,000 a day. $1,000? You mean my bonus?" He goes, "My once a year bonus?" He goes, "But what about your oil records in the garage?" "You mean my oil change records? You dumbass," is what he should have said.
Yeah, he's Bobby's been pretty sheepish.
So we're at the Hill House. We're in the kitchen. He's just he's laying into Bobby. "I used to think you were too young for this conversation, but I think we've all had enough of you learning about money on the streets. So here it goes. Our checkbook." And he just flashes it to him real quick. He goes, "I didn't even see anything." He goes, "Okay, you want to know about the family finances?" He gets up, closes the blinds, turns the overhead light on so it looks like a spotlight.
All the windows are locked.
Yeah. And he shows it to him. He goes, "Here," shows him everything. He goes, "So this is it? Please tell me you've at least got some gold buried in the backyard." He goes, "Nope, that's it. But responsible budgeting, we do fine." He goes, "That's our entertainment budget, but I spend that much on CDs every month. I use up the whole budget." He goes, "Yep. I guess I let you down. What the?" And he opens the blinds to see a jet ski being delivered to his house. Wow. He goes, "Oh, that must be the jet ski." Bobby's room a little bit later.
Crazy.
Hank comes in. Bobby is really depressed. Hank comes in and goes, "Well, I was able to pay off everything except the jet ski. Had to use my whole bonus and then some. Guess I'll never need to get that new shower pan." Shower pan is what he was saving up for. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." He goes, "So here's your punishment. I'm going to get whatever I can for the jet ski, and you're going to go do chores until you work off the difference between that and what it costs." He goes, "Okay. Now, your mother said something about a date with Madame Von Toilet Scrubbing." And then you see a toilet scrubber come around it comes around the door, and she goes, "Anyone seen Bobby?"
That's a great line.
It's really good. The jet ski is in the driveway. It's got a for sale sign on it. You see Bobby up there. He's cleaning gutters. Hank comes out and he goes, "Good job, Bobby. Hey, it looks hot up there. Why don't you come down and take a break?" Bobby says the weirdest thing, which is breaks are for guys on disability. What? What does that mean?
What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means, but it's funny. And he goes, "Well, I do need some help getting the jet ski down to the lake to sell it." He goes, "I'm on it just as soon as I'm done fishing out this squirrel." He like jams his hand down in there. Yeah. They drive off. The three guys in the alley are watching. Dale says, "Oh, Hank frittered away his fortune. God, if Peggy was the best he could do with money, what's going to happen now when she leaves him?" Boom says, "Man, you talk about it might have dang old falling, man. I heard some dumb." And Bill says, "I heard it had something to do with the internet." And
great friend.
He usually does. We're at the lake. Bobby is washing the truck. And the jet ski is sitting out there, and it's got a for sale sign on it. Hank's like, "Brand new jet ski for sale. Got all the features and really spiffy paint job there. Sure was expensive." A convertible drives up. And you can tell it's got a dad and a son in it, and the kid is a spoiled little shit. And learning about money on the street is a great line. It's true.
A good line. I like that line.
A convertible drives up and he goes, "Hey, Eric, what do you think of that jet ski? You promised me a new one. This one's probably broken." Hank says, "It's not broken. Fine, I'll prove it to you." So he takes the jet ski out as they watch, and he's, by the way, the name of the jet ski is the Big B.
The Big B.
Bobby already had named it. He pulls it up and he goes, "Okay, then it runs perfectly fine. You happy?" The kid's like, "Can it go any faster?" He says, "Of course it can." "Well, I'll be." And he gets on it and takes off, boy. And he goes, whoa, giddy up. He's really starting to enjoy this dumb jet ski. Yeah. Artie says, I don't know why, but when Hank called him a thief, I remember when Hank told Bobby he was a liar and a rodeo clown, he couldn't decide which was worse. He pauses and says, clown. Bobby collapsed. Yeah, that's absolutely true. All right. So later on, they're out there riding the jet ski together. And he goes, boy, that was, he pulls it back up and he's talking to the rich kid. Sorry. He goes, boy, that was fun. Hey, he goes, it's okay, I guess. We'll take it. And then the dad's like, oh, okay, I know I promised you a jet ski, but could you at least say thank you? Whatever. I'll get mom's new boyfriend to buy it for me. Bobby goes up to this dumb kid and he goes, sir, for 50 cents, I'll shine this baby up like a brand new dime. He goes, I want to see my face. He goes, all right. Hank looks at it and he knows that he has gone too far with Bobby.
Way too far.
Yeah, because now Bobby's like doing anything for 50 cents, right?
Yep.
You know, and so he knows.
The concept of money went the opposite.
That's exactly right. Later on, we see the for sale sign is in the trash. Hank and Bobby are on the jet ski, and we hear, Dad, go back. They're not going to wait around for us. Hank says, we're not selling it. Now, hold on tight. I'm going to gun it. He goes, we're going to keep it? We can't afford it. I'm not selling your jet ski to that little jackass. I figure the depreciation is the same on it, whether we keep it for a day or a year. Used is used, right? He goes, really? He goes, yeah, sure. We can carry it on the credit card for a little while, and then if we sell it within a year, it'll be the same Blue Book value. He goes, but credit cards should only be used in an emergency, and you should pay the balances off each month. He goes, ideally, yes. And then they take off. He gets the credits. That's our whole thing. And then after the credits, we hear, Dad, give me a big wad of cash.
Big wad of cash.
But that is it, guys. That is season 8, episode, what were we? 8.
8.
Rich Hank, Poor Hank. And
8.9.
Yeah.
I wrote notes for 9. So I learned French last night for episode 9.
Family Guy clip. Last part of your jet ski license test. Have you ever got in a fist fight with a stepdad? Which one? You pass.
Also, I think would be a good episode. There's a thing I found the other night.
Blah, blah, blah says they learned credit card advice from this, from this episode.
All the episodes of The Simpsons where King of the Hill is mentioned.
Oh,
I think that'd be good to go over.
That would be kind of cool
for a Friday episode.
Yeah.
Not very many, but there are a few.
There are a few.
And there's a few where since it is a Fox, they're both Fox entities where Hank actually is physically in a Simpsons episode. And I believe there's King of the Hill goes the same way. There was one episode where it was a promo they did where I think it was in an episode 2 where
Homer shows up.
No, where Peter is in the mirror and he's ripping his face off like a nightmare, and he's like ripping his face off, and underneath him is Hank.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that would be a good episod. Yeah.
All right. Well, tell them where they can find more of this nonsense.
You can find more of Mike and I on social media at BWAAAKOTH, and we would love it if you guys would send in some emails for us to read at BWAAAKOTH@gmail.com. It'd also be cool if you went over to the YouTube. It's 2025. You guys should be watching us live now instead of hanging out with us in the past, future, and present. Go ahead and go to BWAAAKOTH on YouTube. That's youtube.com/@BWAAAKOTH.
We are like the ghosts of past, present, and future.
We are.
Ghetto Cowboy says Silver Surfer shows up in that one also.
Yes, he
which
does.
is kind of cool. All right, guys.
There's also some goofy ass shit on the internet where it's Hank as the Silver Surfer.
Oh, I kind of like that. All right, guys. Well, that is it for us today. Thank you for joining us for a Monday. And next week we'll do season 8, episode 9. Stick around if you want to be part of the Friday show.
Stick around for Friday.
I just want to say thank you to all you guys. Thank you for being here. And Artie, Michael, Ghetto Cowboy. Let's see who else we got in here. I think that was it in the chat today, but thank you all for being here, and we really appreciate it.
And Baby T in the chat.
And I think that leaves us one thing left to say.
We Matanye.
We Matanye indeed. You guys take care of yourself and have a great, great Christmas. And if I knew where the outro was, I would do it. Here we go. Bye.
All right, and now we'll be doing the Friday episode. So everybody that's here, give us just a minute to get ready for our Friday episode, and we will do that live with you guys. I have a couple of things that I'm going to talk about, just stuff I've watched or read in the week, and then I'm not sure what Mike has. Mike has something too for us, so I am going to also read some of y'all's YouTube comments. So if you've been leaving YouTube comments, I might read one or two of the YouTube comments that are left. Unfortunately, a lot of the Epstein documents are redacted. There was 100 pages straight of redaction.
See, I can't leave Rusty because then we go straight to the Epstein documents.
Yeah. Oh, any fast food notes?
Fast food notes from here?
There is still
Anywhere?
a Burger King. Okay, so I got one real fast on the Burger King thing before we start. We'll go ahead and start the episode, then I'll do it.
Okay. Here we go, guys.
Stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie skies are wide and high. Deep in the heart of Texas, deep in the heart of Texas.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to a That Ain't Right Friday.
Welcome to a That Ain't Right Live Friday.
That Ain't Friday. Ain't that Friday ain't?
Right.
We this is a day that we talk about things, things adjacent to King of the Hill.
Yeah.
And I think you wanted to launch first with a reference to Burger King.
Yeah, so we were just asked in chat prior to recording this while we were live. If you want to find us live and hang out with us live, you could go to youtube.com/@BWAAAKOTH and set the notification to ding you when we're live. So Ghetto Cowboy 33 here asked if I had any fast food notes. It's funny he asks that
because we've been doing a lot of fast food.
I've made a lot of fast food mentions. I've done fine art. I've done fast food. I'm a bit of a overweight Renaissance man. So we've done literature. We've done food. So I try to find facts about everything that I can find for you guys that are related to the episodes. And sometimes it starts things like this. So for the fast food thing, Burger King itself actually had a case against them for a copyright trademark infringement.
Against who?
And
Burger King had it.
Burger King, yeah. So it was two Burger Kings, obviously. So there was a restaurant that was founded in it was founded by the Hoots family in Mattoon, Illinois.
Hoots
and in Mattoon, Illinois, right? And it was not related to the original chain. The restaurant's founders claim that it is the original Burger King, and then it predates the Burger King, the larger Burger King. But so the history behind it is there was two people that started what they called a Frigid Queen ice cream shop.
Frigid Queen?
Frigid Queen, I guess, was a chain or something back in the day, maybe. I'm not really sure.
Dairy King and Frigid Queen and Dairy Queen. And
yeah, because I've never personally heard of Frigid Queen.
I was married to
one. Yeah, I personally never heard of a Frigid Queen before this. This is the first I've ever heard of it, but it was apparently it was originally a Frigid Queen space, and the guy started selling burgers.
It's like the fifth one, right?
They added a counter. Yeah. So they added a counter and they started adding hamburgers and French fries, and that was in like 1954. And in 1957, they ended up fixing up this 2-car parking garage and adding a grill and a counter and all that stuff. So they were trying to come up with a new name. And so it was Frigid Queen at first. And then the guy was like, well, I want to go with the Hot Dames. And
Hot Dames?
That was Dame. Like
Hot Dames?
Like dames, yeah, like women. And his wife was like, nah, she goes, a queen needs a king. So they chose the name Burger King.
There you go.
So in 1959, he went and registered that name as Burger King as a state trademark. So now it's the 60s. The Florida chain Burger King, as we know Burger King, is like starting to rise up. You know, they're starting to get big, and they're going all over the state.
Started as Burger Prince.
So the Hootses and their lawyer thought that their state trademark, which was in use before Florida chain moved into the state, gave them exclusive rights to the name all over the state. However, the Florida chain opened its first restaurant in 1961. By 1967, the chain had 50 restaurants. So at that point, they felt, maybe we need to take action.
So Burger King is from Florida originally?
Burger King of Florida was the name of the company.
Okay.
That was the LLC. So the Burger King that was created in Illinois was just a family that started a burger joint and had no intentions of grandeur, or they had no franchise chance or nothing. They just wanted to be the little restaurant at home.
Yeah.
And they're still there, not as the Hoots family anymore.
Hoots.
It's actually owned by a guy, potentially
Mr. Toots.
It says right here, sold the company to its Ernie Drummond as of 2017 is the owner, if that's still the case, and he was a longtime manager there.
I bet it's owned by a corporation at this point.
Maybe not. That was 2017, so it's still possible that he owns it. That's possible. I'm not sure. I would hope that he owned it, or maybe it died during COVID. It's no longer exists. This article that I'm reading doesn't really update it more than that. But so they ended up filing a suit in state court against the Florida company. The Florida company ended up responding with a federal suit. So they sued back with a federal suit. So there was a attorney that they had hired, and the president of the Burger King of Florida appeared obviously with like 6 lawyers, you know. So it's an important interpretation of what they call the Lanham Act, which is a trademarked act, which sets out to remedies that can be sought when a trademark is infringed, focus on false advertising, unfair competition, providing a legal recourse and stuff for individuals and businesses of people infringing on their trademarks and stuff like that. So the court ruled that because of the federal trademark registration and because of the federal law indicated priority over state law, Burger King had rights to the name everywhere in the United States, including in Illinois, except in that one little area, locale of that one burger joint.
I think McDonald's was the same way.
As a result of the case, they were never able to leave and create a Burger King anywhere else inside of Illinois. Burger King was only allowed inside of Mattoon, and so they never created a bunch of them. So the Florida chain.
Do you know who owns the Burger King we know?
It's passed hands a few times.
Berkshire Hathaway.
Berkshire Hathaway is it now, which is a London company.
Big sludge fund.
A big sludge fund. It was actually originally owned by the guy that wrote the book that I read.
Well,
it was 2 people that originally owned it. It was called Insta Burger King.
Insta Burger King is how it started. Yes,
and the 2 guys that had it got bought out by a guy who had a bunch of franchises.
Yeah.
And he is the guy who wrote the book that I read.
Yeah.
He went and bought the rights to. Well, his story is interesting because it talks about
Goldman Sachs used to own it.
Goldman Sachs. A lot of hedge funds have owned it. And if you look, there's probably a lot of hedge funds that probably actually own all of the fast food joints.
Well, they put them into a group. So like Berkshire Hathaway also has Tim Hortons, which is huge up in Canada and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, that's your Burger King fact for the day, the trademark battle. So Burger King actually offered them $10,000 for the right to operate a Burger King restaurant within the 20-mile area, and they declined. So they were actually offered money, and they were allowed to build Burger Kings as close as they could to it, but they had to do it within a 20-mile area outside of Mattoon. So there are no Burger Kings within that 25 miles of Mattoon. Well, that's the thing with Burger King is Burger King struggled for a really long time. And I think I talked about this on another episode. They struggled for a lot of years in marketing. Their marketing department suffered horribly. And all it was is because of who owned them at that time when they were struggling. So they were originally sold by the guy that I read the book of and his partners. It was originally sold to Pillsbury. The company that owned Pillsbury at the time. And they had bought another business and they just weren't really focusing on the right things. And it was kind of pissing this guy off, this founder guy. And he even says in that he wished he would have held out longer for a buyout and things like that. But at the time, they needed capital to be able to continue on with the franchising part of the business. And he had to accept whatever it was just because, even though it wasn't favorable for him at that time. But he was with it for a lot of years through it being handed off from company to company, but it was a big British company that came in and bought it from Pillsbury, and that's what brought it back to its like back in the 80s and 90s, I think.
You know, when I was a kid, like 80s, I liked Burger King better, and I still do, than McDonald's. But Burger King at that time was cool because they were the ones that gave you all the glasses and the cool collectibles and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I'd have to say Burger King is probably better too. The reason why I think Burger King is better because obviously they charbroil their burgers, and I feel like that's the best way to really
Put
go.
them over them flames. All right, I've got a little article here.
Another thing. Yesterday, rest in peace, was the 16th anniversary of Brittany Murphy's death.
Yeah, R.I.P. She was one of a kind. This is a article by someone named Nick Valdez. It's from December 19th, 2025.
Yep.
So relatively, I guess it was 2 days ago or whatever when we're recording this. Artie says we had a burger chain called Carol's, and then overnight they all became Burger Kings. Yeah, I can see that. This is called 21 years ago, King of the Hill's most tragic Christmas episode debuted with a shocking twist. 21 years ago today, and this again, December 19th, King of the Hill aired its final Christmas special, and the animated series rounded out the holiday with a shockingly tragic take on the idea. King of the Hill might have returned earlier this summer with a brand new season of episodes to Hulu, but this new season didn't really have any time to celebrate the holidays. The original King of the Hill run has gone all out for the Christmas season many times over in its episodes, but the last one ended up being one of the most sad. 21 years ago today, on December 19, 2004, King of the Hill aired what ended up being its final Christmas episode, Ms. Wakefield. The episode introduced the Hill family to a sudden elderly guest during the holiday season. She reveals that she's only gone to the house with the hopes of dying there. Mini reindeer plushes from the 80s. Yeah, you got it, blah, blah. So she says she wants to come to their house and die.
Oh, wow.
Episode goes about as wild as you expect from that idea and sparks as many sad emotions as you would expect to see too. That's why it's so memorable after all these years. During King of the Hill's 9th season, Ms. Wakefield sees the Hill family prepare for the holiday season. They're going to throw their annual Christmas party for friends and family. This is one we'll see on the next season that we do.
Yeah.
Ghetto says they hated that episode. Complete with Secret Santa as Bill apparently gives cool gifts. But soon they get a sudden visit from an elderly woman named Ms. Wakefield. It's revealed that it was her childhood home, and she just wanted to have a quick visit to have some fun memories of her childhood. Soon enough, her real intentions are made clear, and they're pretty dark. It's revealed that after losing her sister and the rest of her family over the years, Ms. Wakefield has been hoping to come back to her childhood home to die. She wanted to end her life at the place she felt happiest, but naturally it's something that Hank and Peggy aren't comfortable with. Who knew? Kicking her out, she tries again the next day, only to try and sneak into the house to die quickly. Then I do remember this now. Then there are days that it's going back and forth. She tries to sneak into the house, only for the Hills to throw her out. Gets to the point where the family finally causes a scene to where the neighborhood is turning against Hank for being so mean to an elderly woman. She pleads for him to let her die there, and he tries to do so during their Christmas party, and she tries to do so during their Christmas party. But seeing how uncomfortable everyone is, she decides against it, and Hank realizes she's just been so lonely, offering to have her over for Christmas from now on, and not just to die. We never see Miss Wakefield again, and she's never mentioned in the Hulu revival, along with other missing characters either. That would be funny if, like, they had a
they brought
R.I.P.
back,
Miss Wakefield on the wall. The episode itself was already a sad one. She outright pleads for Hank to let her die, and her loneliness cuts through the holiday. It's a rather wacky episode beforehand as Hank and the others try to stop Miss Wakefield's shenanigans, and Bobby even afraid of her at one point. Dale tries to get her to die in his house instead, start a haunted bed and breakfast.
That's funny.
But even with all of this, it still hits home. That is an old woman who's ready to die.
Yeah.
She's never brought up again. King of the Hill does have a history of bringing notable characters, blah, 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 blah. It's a good little article if you if you can find it.
And for Artie, I got
Nick Valdez.
I got some stuff for Artie. So Artie mentioned carols. Okay, so I just did some quick clickety clacking real fast. So carols actually. Funny that he says carols and he mentions carols. Carols still exist as a restaurant group. So Carol's Restaurant Group is a subsidiary of Restaurant Brands International, and Restaurant Brands International is the same company that owns Burger King, and you said Tim Horton, Popeyes, Firehouse Subs. They're all subsidiaries. So you have Burger King itself, and then you have Carol's. Carol's is the largest Burger King franchisee in the world. They own and operate over 1,000 Burger Kings and 55 Popeyes restaurants, and the company has operated Burger King since 1976. Artie, as a young lad, might remember eating he's from this area, Syracuse, New York. He might remember in the in his era in the late 60s, early 70s of eating at Carol's. Carol's by 1975, all of Carol's restaurant locations in the United States were pretty much converted to Burger King franchises, and they had about 120 Carol's restaurants throughout the state of New York. So after all the conversions, the Carol's brand itself was actually only found overseas. So up until 2012, you could still find them in Helsinki. In Finland, they had one that lasted until 2012, but up until that point, you could find them in places like Finland, Sweden, Estonia, Latvia, Russia. So Carol's actually was around for quite a while. They were also owned Taco Cabana and another company called Pollo Tropical, and they divested those two companies into another thing called Fiesta Restaurant Group, which is actually headquarters in Dallas. So it's a corporate spinoff. So they're all still owned and held by the same major corporation, but they're all like spun off from everybody.
Mrs. Wakefield was voiced by Marion Ross. She was Miss Cunningham on Happy Days.
Yeah. So RBI bought Carol's in 2024, which is funny because
for Carol.
They are the largest franchisee of Burger King, and RBI owns Burger King. So they were trying to get all the Burger Kings back underneath the same umbrella. So Carol's is underneath the same umbrella as Burger King. Even though it is a franchisee, they're all held by the same company.
Got it.
It's such a weird way that corporations and businesses work.
Corporations and businesses are weird. There is a Carol's had Looney Tune glasses. I had my foghorn leghorn. Yeah, that was the same deal at Burger King. They had wonderful glasses, and not just those little jelly jar type glasses that you would see with Tom and Jerry on them or whatever. It was like I remember the Empire Strikes Back set and things like that. I've still got a bunch of those glasses somewhere. I got to find them. Okay, another.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
The glasses actually are these right here.
Look at him getting on it.
If the camera could see,
I think
those would be the glasses.
I have.
Those are Carol's glasses.
Yeah, I got you. I have the Speedy Gonzales. I know I have that one. I think I have a Bugs Bunny one. Yeah, I've got several of those. Yeah, those were cool.
Yeah, those are the Carol's 70s.
Well, I think
glasses.
they're probably the same ones that Burger King had because I've got the Burger King ones.
Potentially, maybe.
I would think the Carol's one would be worth more, though.
Apparently Hardee's did something.
Hardee's did some stuff too. Yeah.
Stuff like that.
All right, second article. This is by Judy Berman. This is from August 4th, so a little while back. King of the Hills Bobby was never meant to grow up. How about that?
There you go.
Now, I'm not going to endorse this article because it starts off
I think he was meant to grow up.
Well, it starts off with this phrase. For yet another unnecessary revival of a long-running show, King of the Hills Season 14 is surprisingly satisfying.
Yeah.
Great. But it's good also. It says it's now streaming in full, blah, 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 blah. It says our new, they talk about Dale Gribble and how he's changed, John Redcorn, how he's changed. Then Saladin Patterson. They do all the stuff. There's one major problem with the way King of the Hill has been updated for 2025. Bobby. The standout character in a series normally centered on his dad, the Hills boy has now grown into the adult man he was never meant to be. One reason we know much time has passed in the alternate universe of adult animation is that Bobby Hill, who aged from 11 to 13 years old during the show's original 12-year run, it was 13, was it not?
Maybe 12, 13 seasons over 12 years, maybe.
Is now 21. Instead of going to college, he's pursued his passion for meat, blah, 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 blah. He shares an apartment with his childhood best friend, Joseph, who's heavily implied to be a biological offspring, blah, 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 blah. So she does bring up an important question here. What is Bobby doing on the campus of a university?
I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Exiting a dorm where he's just spent the night with a college girl who told him the hookup was a one-time thing and sent him on his way. The moment is preceded by a cringeworthy scene in which Peggy is awakened by a ringing cell phone. Bobby butt dials. At the core of the original show is the ultimate normie Hank struggling to relate to his son. The boy ain't right.
The boy is definitely not right.
Neither a great student nor an athlete like his dad, Bobby was defined to some extent by his old soul precociousness. This is a kid whose sense of humor comes straight out of vaudeville, but even more so by his middle school malleability. He's malleable. In that sense, and despite all of his eccentricities, my tongue is not there. He became adult animation's quintessential pre-Tina Belcher, pre-Big Mouth preteen, a mess of curiosities, talents, delusions, and horniness, slowly organizing themselves into a cohesive identity. For 13 seasons, the most memorable Bobby storylines was most of the show. Husky Boys talks about the cross-legged Bobby, the Won't You Pie May Neighbor, and then it says like most pubescent kids, good God, I'm so sorry guys. Yeah. Bobby is a sponge, thirsty for love and liable to absorb any influence that might help him figure out who he is. Feeling excluded from Hank's bond with the Hills' elderly dog Ladybird in another season 4 episode, he befriends a raccoon. At the risk of taking a cartoon character too seriously, the reason so many of us adore Bobby isn't just because he's a hammy miniature entertainer who says the darndest things, but because of the oddball's search for belonging captures something universal about youth. A person who's still getting to know himself could grow up to be anything. For him, the possibilities are endless. Getting to glimpse an adult Bobby is kind of fun novelty in the same vein that a flash-forward Simpsons episode where Lisa is the president. At least Judge Daniels and Patterson left the character's distinctly androgynous voice provided by Pamela Adlon in both incarnations of a show that has weathered the untimely deaths of too many original voice actors intact. And their choice to make his parents the characters in transition is an inspired reversal that goes a long way towards making season 14 work as well as it does. The thing is, a stable 21-year-old man who's excelling in his career, feels relatively secure in his father's love, and even gets laid once in a while, barely resembles the wonderfully in Bobby Hill we know, which means that King of the Hill, for all its many pleasures, isn't quite the same King of the Hill either.
There you go.
I agree. Be my. But I don't know how you're going to. I don't know how you're going to do it otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know if she's saying that you just shouldn't do it or what. But everybody's entitled to their opinion, and this one happens to be wrong. But anyway, I just didn't want you guys thinking that all I do is read stuff about how great King of the Hill is. There are people out there that didn't want this revival. And I got to say that I was nervous about it.
We saw a lot of people that didn't want the revival.
I was nervous about it, but it's great. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So I think the people have spoken because, boy, does that thing get a lot of numbers.
Yeah, it did great. It was a really good show. Absolutely.
You got anything for us this time on Friday?
No.
Okay. Fantastic.
We can look at some YouTube comments.
Yeah, if you got some.
So everybody's been commenting on the new intro.
Yeah,
they really like the intro.
That's great.
Kind of thing.
Glad they like it.
So yeah, that's the big thing.
One
guy said the new intro is like the dreams he has on store-bought melatonin. So there you go.
It is. It's very slop-worthy. The new intro, but we'll keep it for a while and then we'll do something else. Our biggest problem was we kept getting popped from Flame Trick subs, and it's not them; it's their label. I get it,
yeah.
But we kept getting popped from that, and so I was like, screw it, I'll just make something else. Only took me about 8 hours to make that.
Hey, it's good. I like it. I don't care what anybody says. I like
my wife. I came out of the room in there. I kind of like myself in a room whenever I'm working on something like that, you know. And I just put my head down and do a thing. And she goes, so what did you do? I said, well, I made a new intro for King of the Hill. She goes, you were in there for 8 hours. What else did you get done? I said, no,
that's it. Yeah.
Artie says the author sounds like they don't have any kids. If you're disappointed by how Bobby turned out, don't have kids. That's absolutely true. Because honestly, Bobby's a wet dream as far as
Bobby's
the way
a
you
good
want your
kid.
kids growing up.
Bobby is a good kid. Yeah.
All right. Well, it is. Let's see.
That's
Today would be the
we
26th.
We record before Christmas.
Yeah, I know we record before Christmas, but in our mind, in real time, when this actually drops, God, I'm looking at everything but what I need to look at. It comes out the 26th, so it's the day after Christmas.
So today,
it's Boxing Day.
I should have already opened my new Focusrite sound thing for my computer. I should have that for Christmas. That was what I asked Santa for.
My wife and I don't really buy Christmas gifts for each other. We're planning maybe take a trip after the first of the year or something like that.
We do, what is it? Need, want, eat, read.
Need, want, eat, read.
Yeah. So something you need,
eat, pray, love,
like a pair of socks, or something you want, like I wanted.
Doesn't that cover everything?
And then food is like their favorite snack or something like that. We
Gotcha.
do it with the kids. We do this with the kids and everything too.
Sure.
Need, want thing,
Sure.
And then we do a book.
For my grandson, he is 11 years old, and he wanted the world's sourest candy.
Oh, awesome!
So I ordered some real sour stuff, but then I also ordered him some of those little those things that you eat. Thank you, Artie. Merry Christmas to you. The things you eat that make everything sour taste sweet.
Oh, okay.
And so we'll try that on Christmas Day.
That sounds pretty cool.
He'll enjoy that. I ordered him some really, really sour soda, just some stupid stuff,
just some silly sour stuff. Yeah,
and then a big ass Nerf gun with a whole bunch of bullets.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
Oh, he will love it. I think it's automatic. I think it goes.
Oh yeah, he'll love that even more. Yeah, we bought one for my son one year that was kind of automatic, but the balls that it shot weren't regular Nerf balls. It was made by Nerf, but they were these round yellow ones that had like dimps in it for like aerodynamics. They're kind of like shaped like golf balls.
Those hurt,
and they hurt.
They can hurt. Yes,
they did not feel good. And he never got this far, but he was reading on how to modify it to crank it up to where they shot harder. And I'm kind of glad that he didn't read it, because now at the age that he is, he could do it now, because he's done a lot of robotic stuff with school, so he understands how servos work and how to program stuff. So I think now would be more dangerous than then. Speaking of program stuff, there was this guy that I was unfortunately they cut robotics at his school.
I don't doubt that one bit.
He didn't get to carry it on from junior high to the high school because they cut it that year.
How old is he?
15. He just turned 15 this year.
If you ever want to get him back into robotics, let me know, because I've got a kit that you can get, and it's not the Lego stuff. It's cooler.
Yeah. Let me know, because he still loves all that stuff. He just he doesn't get to do it with the school anymore.
This one's all metal. It's got actual screws.
He does a lot of STEM stuff. Yeah, he loves STEM and all that. Yeah. He's going to be some type of engineer or something, I'm sure, when he's done with school.
You know what they're looking for over at this new STEM center they're building across the river? They're looking for kids to come in like 3 hours a week or something, and they'll pay them.
Oh yeah, I might check that out.
Come in and help.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Remind me, and I'll get you the info.
Yeah, for sure.
If he wants to come over and do that, that'd be cool.
He'd love that,
because they'll do robotics. I'm helping him out with podcasting stuff and things like that.
Yeah, no, he would absolutely love
Casey's
doing that.
He's going to be teaching some game classes over there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, he'd love to be a part of that. Yeah, he is.
I mean, like I say, it's 3 hours a week. It's not that big a deal. You drop them off, pick them up later, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think they're paying them like $12 an hour or something to be there. So I mean, he makes something and he can learn.
Yeah, he would love that,
because
he's looking for a way to make extra money and stuff.
Just remember, guys, today is the 26th. That means that everything is on clearance now. So if you didn't get what you wanted, go out and find it now. But I want to say this, and I should have said it last episode. I am tired, very, very tired. That's it. No, I'm tired of commercialism. I am so sick of hearing about how I'm supposed to throw out all my Christmas ornaments and buy brand new ones every year. I'm so sick of people giving cars to each other in Christmas commercials, which is ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I am so tired of buy. If you don't buy something, you don't love that person. I'm sick of it. So I hope that you guys had a good, peaceful, restful Christmas where you got to visit with your friends and your family and whoever you wanted to, or maybe you got to sit in the dark all day. That would be great too. That sounds like a wonderful day to me. But Merry Christmas. I know we're a day late by saying that, but Merry Christmas to you
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
And I hope that it was a great one. And looking forward to a new year with you guys. Anything else you got?
No, that's
all
it.
right.
Merry Christmas.
Let's get out of here. I think that leaves us with one thing left to say.
Oh, Weematanya.
Weematanya indeed. Jingle bells. Jingle bells. The bells are ringing. Jingle bells. Bye.
Boxing
We're talking about the Jake Paul thing.
He would have gotten disqualified or had point reductions for the amount of times that he was trying to pull it to the ground.
Yeah.
And
Jake Paul's an idiot.
Really, he's an idiot for being
who wants to be a bully.
Well, he was a cruiserweight and got in the ring with a heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
And not only a heavyweight that has 28 wins.
Not only that,
5 knockouts.
but a guy who had fire in his eyes because he sees Jake Paul as somebody who's making a mockery of his sport.
He is making a mockery of the sport. But whatever exposure he's giving to the sport is not the exposure the sport needs.
Screw both Paul brothers, by the way. They're both
I'm not a fan
kind of garbage.
Those guys,
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
we will see you guys next time. Oh, Weematanya.
This is my note card that is not applicable to this episode. I thought I was really doing something last night.
Keep them for next